Let's be honest. Business is a game. There's winners, there's losers. It's a nonstop competition. And I think especially with generative AI and large language models, that holds truer than ever. Now all of a sudden you have enterprise companies that are struggling to keep up with everything that AI offers. And then you have smaller businesses that are maybe a little bit more nimble in competing on grander stages that they never thought, all because of how you can use AI. So today we're going to be going over, not just how you can increase top line revenue and increase bottom line efficiency with AI, but how real businesses are actually winning. That's what it comes down to. Business is a game. And if you want to compete, if you want to win, you have to use AI the right way. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today on Everyday AI. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host of Everyday AI. This is your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter, helping us all not just keep up with AI, but how we can get ahead and use it to grow our companies and our careers. So it starts by learning on our daily podcast and live stream. I have a great guest for you today. I'm going to introduce here in a couple of minutes, but then it actually happens when you leverage it. All right. So that portion starts by going to our website at youreverydayai.com. While you're there, you can sign up for our free daily newsletter. That's where we're going to be recapping the most valuable insights and more information from today's conversation, as well as giving you the 101 on everything else happening today in the world of AI. So this is how you can leverage it to get ahead to grow your company and your career. All right. So I'm excited about that. But before we get started, some days we go over the AI news. Today is one of those days, so let's give you the quick outlook. So first, a new study has shown that AI has passed the Turing test. Wow. Okay. So a new study by UC San Diego's Language and Cognition Lab found that OpenAI's GPT-4.5. Some days we go over the AI news. Today is one of those being mistaken for human 73% of the time. So the Turing test, proposed by Alan Turing in the 1950s, evaluates a machine's ability to exhibit human-like intelligence by having a human interrogator distinguish between a machine and another human in text-based conversations. So GPT 4.5 from OpenAI excelled under persona prompts, where it adapted specific identities like a cultural savvy young person, achieving a 73% success rate. Without personas, its win rate dropped to below 50% at 36%. Other AI models underperformed. Even OpenAI's GPT-4o only scored a 21% versus 4.5 that scored that 73. And Meta's Llama, as an example, didn't get to that 30% mark either. So for this test, 300 participants were tested in 8 rounds, tasked with identifying which conversation partner was human and which was AI. So yeah, the majority of humans were fooled by GPT 4.5. So yeah, a lot of people are now saying the Turing test has been officially passed. This is one of those things. There's always going to be arguments, right? It's like, oh, when have we achieved AGI? Oh, when will AI pass the Turing test? Well, it looks like, at least according to this study, a lot of people are saying it just happened. All right, a couple other bullet point updates for you. There's too much news, right? So rounding this up here in AI product updates. So ChatGPT announced that their new mega viral GPT-4o image mode now takes longer on purpose to give you better results while generating images. Notebook LM, my favorite AI tool, now has an option to find new sources from the web in addition to grounding it in your own data. And don't forget about that new mind map feature they shipped last week. Pretty mind-boggling. Microsoft Copilot rolled out new voices for its AI voice mode, and we are supposed to be getting a new, highly anticipated version 7 from Midjourney. So if Midjourney does drop that V7, we'll make sure to cover it in today's newsletter. All right. A lot more on those stories and everything else in today's newsletter. So make sure you go check it out at youreverydayai.com. All right. Let's get to winning. Let's get to winning with AI. It's what businesses, I think for the most part, for 3 years, they've been trying to figure this out. It's an ongoing battle. But today I have a little help with great guests. So live stream audience, please help me welcome to the show, Ajay Malik, the CEO of Studio X. Ajay, thank you so much for joining the Everyday AI Show.
Oh, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
All right. Hey, I'm excited. And I always have to give a special shout out because this is a live stream. It's unscripted, unedited. So, in my time in Chicago, it's 7:30, but Ajay joining us from San Jose. So 5:30 a.m. Got to shout him out there. So real quick, before we get into this topic, Ajay, can you tell us a little bit about what you all do at Studio X?
We have an AI platform with multiple applications, and we help businesses adopt AI in their business, either to improve their top line or help with their bottom line.
Okay, perfect. And give us an example. A company, comes to you, or they, use the Studio X platform. What's the main problem they have going in, and what's that main issue that you all are trying to solve?
Very good. So, AI, a lot of hype out there. And, everybody wants to win with the AI, as you said earlier also, right? Everybody is focused on that, but they really sometimes don't know how to start. Okay. That is one thing. Second thing is, within their company, they have this fear. Some people are like, oh, AI is going to take my job, right? AI is, oh, everybody else is using AI. I have to use it. So, they do not have ability to distinguish between the ROI versus hype. Mm-hmm. That is one of the biggest things they start with. Like, where do I start? And how do I win? How do I use it? How do I succeed? And that's where they start. And then we start helping them, like how and where, distinguish them, talk to them, show them the examples. We have customers, Fortune 500, small companies, mid-size, all kind of companies. So we help them, give them examples how others businesses, similar businesses are using to help them decide.
Love it. All right. And hey, as a reminder, live stream audience, thanks for joining us. Get your question in if you have one for Ajay. Can probably take a couple at the end. So everyone joining us on LinkedIn, Kimberly and Jean and Marie and Brownwind, thanks. And on YouTube, Sandra, Michelle, everyone else, thanks for joining us. If you have a question on how your business can actually win with AI, get it in now. So Ajay, let's start at the end. How do real companies actually win with AI? Let's give away the answers now, and then we can dive in.
All right. So you know what? The real companies focus on real problems. Mm-hmm. Real winning comes with real problems, real quantifiable. There is a lot of hype, as I said earlier, and there is a lot of fluff. Oh, you can change the world. And you know what? Everybody wants to change the world, which is a good thing. I do too, right? But the key thing is, how big is your bite? Can you chew what you are biting, right? It's like this. Are you going to solve? If you have to solve one problem, you can say, oh, I will eradicate malaria. Another could be like, hey, I will find a better medicine for malaria. Rather than eating 5 days consecutively, you eat 2 days. And you know what? So you can decide and focus on the smaller problems so that you can execute it, implement it. And that's what the companies who are successful AI doing it. Okay. And they are keeping their focus narrow, very narrow. Like, I am focusing on improving what? And, by having a very clear focus, almost like a micro focus or nano focus, that this is what I want to achieve. Hey, I want to improve my supply and demand management. I want to change this, that, pick a small problem, small section of a problem. That's what big companies are doing, or not big companies who are successful. And, picking the application. Let me give you some examples of application, right? For improving the top line, what can you do? For top line, you can do like, hey, make your product smarter, like have some kind of predictive alerts in the product, like your car, right? My car has an engine light. When it is on, I am like, oh, I have to go to mechanic right now, right? You're scared, right? Can I continue driving? Do I have to rush today? What do I do now because the orange light is on? But just imagine if there was a blue light in the car, which was like, hey, you should go to mechanic in next 4 weeks. That is much more relief. And making your product something like this, adding features which help, that's the idea.
So let's talk about each of those two things. So kind of this top line and bottom line, right? Because I think everyone is always looking at measuring the ROI of AI, and my hot take is don't, but everyone needs to, right? So I think bottom line is maybe a little bit easier, but when we talk about top line, right, and increasing revenue, you kind of talked about the example of predictive analytics, right? Like that's a great one, but maybe can you give us a couple examples or use cases of how businesses should be looking at AI on the top line side, specifically ways that you can add revenue with AI?
Very nice. So top line is all about like adding new line item when you are selling something, or charging premium pricing and justifying it, right? So what everybody's talking about, like for operations, Microsoft Copilot, or every applications which can help. But just imagine the printer you are selling, right, or a device or product you are selling came with a Copilot. Imagine that, you are working with a small printer and you are stuck how to deal with it. It has some alert, small window screen problems. But imagine I could just do a QR code, go on my phone, and now I can talk to the printer and, hey, what's wrong with you? How do I fix this? Right? Making the products much more usable, and people will like that because it will make the product more usable, right? Or having something like inspection, like.
I think that's a rather important point to make here. I seen a study or kind of a release on some information, and it said something like 90% of businesses in the United States have implemented AI, but only like 20 or 30% of employees polled said that they felt comfortable using the tools or used AI, or the implementations of AI were good. So the crazy part about that is when you think about how you implement a change within an organization, a company, you're implementing the change, but then you have change managers who actually help train the change. And I've partnered with Rich Solutions on those types of projects. When I talk to an enterprise client, I'm talking about all the things that they need to go, their pain points, their business objectives, where their roadmap is, and that's my step. But then I partner with Rich Solutions, who will come in and help train them on AI implementation and changes, so that they didn't just spend these millions of dollars on these new AI tools, but now they have these AI tools and they know how to use them. I think change management gets lost here, especially in today's society where we're changing so rapidly all the time. So if you fall into that, you need to go with it. Let's continue on.
Like a vending machine. Okay, so vending machines, there is a lot of motors inside it, and just imagine if there was some microphone, some camera inside it which is listening to the sound and watching and monitoring everything, and it can tell, oh, the machine needs oil change, the elevator is not working, think like this. So the AI, using AI to make your product valuable, the product becoming much more useful, much more reliable for your customer. That is where you add value, right? Whether you can add a voice control interface, you can have embedded inspection in the product, you can have, or even like simple things like lead management, personalized lead sending. So anything that can help you find more customers, retain more customers, those applications, hundreds of applications, and many are very easy to implement. It's just about focusing on them and thinking how it will help your customers.
Yeah, a good question here from Monica in the audience. So, you kind of talked about, Ajay, kind of this concept of like, hey, with AI, don't focus on eradicating malaria, focus on, the smaller steps, right? So I think that was a good way to talk about starting small. So she's asking, what are some of the smaller problems your clients have solved with AI?
Smaller problem. One of the problem, voice control. Like one of our clients, they make welding positioners, okay, and the welder is using them. Now the welder is using them. Normally welder was going to a machine and pressing display, connecting the buttons, touching a lot of things, okay, and he's welding, and in the middle of thing they have to change the machine, rotate the part they are welding. It is work, and they had to go and gloves, remove gloves, touch the machine, come back. It was operational problem, and all they did is added in their helmet they have a Bluetooth, and now they can talk to the machine. so that they can say, hey, machine, move up 2 inches, move down, rotate, tilt, things like this. They can say, that's the thing. Just focus on a very small thing, but it immediately solved the problem for the welder. It helped it. So now they can sell the product at a higher price. Think like this. So you need to add some small thing like this, and or having a something like, as I said, the example was real. Actually, the vending machine, that is one of our customer. We put a microphone inside the vending machine, and it is listening to the sound, and it listens like if the machine is making, like your cars make sounds when the brake is going bad, like you hear that sound and we need to do something. Same thing, machine is listening to the sounds inside, and hey, everything is moving smooth, no new sound. So it means the elevator, the motors, everything is working. That is the thing. Think very, very small, tiny problems inside your product to help, or tiny experiences inside your product for your product.
Like, so many of these examples are hitting home for me, Ajay. I'm like, squeaky brakes. Yeah, I'm listening to that all the time. And like the printer, it's like, yeah, why aren't printers smarter? Like, why do I have to, spend 2 hours every single time I'm at my mother-in-law's fixing her printer? Why can't the printer fix itself? My gosh. But, maybe let's get back to bottom line, right? And maybe we can, ping pong across, but, I think this is where a lot of companies start, right? Increasing efficiency, improving outcomes, right? Just making things better with AI for the humans that are spending time, right? I think sometimes, these, use cases or examples of, winning with AI on the bottom line are maybe obvious, but let's talk through, maybe give us 2 or 3 examples of what are those bottom line wins for companies with AI.
All right. So bottom line win is all about where you spend a lot of time, or where it is very repetitive. You are doing things like, I do every day this thing. Okay, what are those things? When I was working for Google, my boss said one thing, hey, anything you do more than 3 times should be automated. Why are you repeating it? And that's something very simple. Like, what are those things I keep doing again and again? And am I really applying myself? You know what? There is a fear, genuine fear in operational efficiency. Is the operational efficiency going to work on take my job? Because, I made things so automated and now they don't need me. So if you are not adding value directly and you were just repeating and doing the work, I think you will get eliminated anyway. That's how it will happen in the world. It's sad, but it is how it will happen. But if you were using AI, you were making your job better so that the company gets more out of you because you are doing things better. You are things people have not done, and that's what it is. And in operational efficiency, think about what are the things